Kellyanne Conway, the political hack loved by MAGA and loathed by Democrats, has a daughter who apparently is now a political commentator, and she made an appearance on Fox. So the question you might have is, does the apple fall from the tree? The answer may surprise you, and I have it coming up next. Everyone remembers Kellyanne Conway as Trump's 2016 campaign manager. She was the one who perfected the pivot. The pivot was that moment when a news show would ask Conway a question about policy or the latest scandal, and with some word jiu-jitsu, she would deflect the question and then flip the conversation to her own talking point.
That claim is groundless. Isn't it irresponsible for a president-elect to make false statements like that?
I think it's groundless. For talk about fake news, the fake news is that somehow the popular vote is more important than the Electoral College vote now.
And that's how the highly paid Conway would earn her retainer each day. She did it so well that she could have taught the political pivot course at Trump University. Nowadays, Kellyanne is not as relevant, but her 19-year-old daughter, Claudia, who has 1.5 million followers on TikTok, is becoming more relevant. The post at the top of her TikTok page is not unlike what we see from many 19-year-olds these days. It is so-called content that old heads like us will never understand. But to her credit, she has mostly stepped away from that kind of social media. And now you might want to know, has she replaced mugging for the camera with MAGA for the camera? Or is she the rebellious type who enjoys making her mother's head spin? And I will answer that question via her recent appearance on Fox, where she dropped a bombshell on Donald Trump. And that's coming up in a few seconds. But first, Claudia is a fascinating case study in family dynamics because the tree the apple fell from is actually a gnarled branch of bipartisan extremes. Claudia Conway is also the daughter of George Conway, Kellyanne's ex. He is someone I have featured many times here because of the content he creates to support his personal mission of destroying Donald Trump.
He's psycho, right? I mean, the front page of our website says, the one thing we know about Donald Trump is that he's effing nuts. And it's like, and it's the simplest point that people have had trouble. The media just can't get its hands around.
It's hard to understand why their marriage did not flourish, I say sarcastically, but it is not hard to understand that their daughter would have strong opinions. But is she qualified to speak on political matters, or is Fox simply leveraging the Conway name in some kind of reverse nepotism? I'll let you decide for yourself as she explains her political position in this recent personal interview, and then I'll play the political interview on Fox that Donald Trump probably doesn't want you to see.
I would not categorize myself into a specific political ideology or a political party. I'm not going to call myself a Democrat, and I'm not going to call myself a Republican. However, I think that my views are pretty moderate now. I think that, socially I tend to lean more left, because my views on abortion and whatnot, they're not changing. But I have a fair amount of conservative views now, to everyone's surprise. And I know I'm going to get flamed for saying that, but it's the truth. And I think that multiple truths can coexist at one time.
And now for the bombshell. Imagine the Fox viewers who tuned in assuming that a daughter of Kellyanne Conway would also be a Trumper. Watch as she dismantles one of his frequent lies about the hotly contested abortion issue.
When we have our former president of the United States saying on national TV, on the biggest stage in the world, saying that doctors are executing babies after they're born or in the 9th month, it's not happening. This is not happening. 93% of all abortions happen in the first trimester, and the rest of them, most of them happen in the second trimester, and very, very small amount happen in the third trimester, and it's about 90-some% of those abortions happen for the life of the mother, or because of a miscarriage, or if the fetus will not be viable. So 93% of abortions are happening in the first trimester.
And now hold on to your skeptical seats, because what's really interesting about that sit down is she was sitting down with her mother. Have a look as Claudia represents her positions quite well.
I look at Kamala Harris and I don't see a perfect person. I don't see a perfect leader, but I do see change. I do see moving forward, and I'm not one for identity politics, but it would be nice to have a woman in the White House, not just for the sake of having a woman.
What about you? Can we wait?
Yeah.
Can we just have Trump win this time and then we'll wait for you or your sisters?
If Trump wins this time, I'm not sure that I will be in that position.
When this story was first sent my way, I thought it was a bit light, but I'm really glad I heard Claudia out, and I appreciate her voice in the election discourse. To be real, she would not be appearing on Fox if not for her name, but she is now one of the few people under 50 years old appearing on Fox at this moment in time with alternative opinions.
Told if you don't fit X, Y, and Z, you can't be a Republican. If you don't fit X, Y, and Z, you can't be a Democrat. And I don't believe in that. I don't think things are black and white, and these choices should not be binary. You and I can sit here and find things that we agree on. We can sit here and have common ground, even though we have completely different views on many different things. Last night you and I talked about the debate, and you said, Trump shouldn't have said this and that. We can agree on that.